Have you ever seen someone laugh at another person's pain, only to realize too late that the tables were about to turn? Well, that's exactly what happened when a greedy landlord mocked a grieving widow in open court. Mrs. Ellen had lived in the same small apartment for over 25 years. She and her late husband had built a life there, raised their kids, celebrated birthdays, survived hardships. After her husband passed away, that little home became the last piece of him she still had. But her landlord, Mr. Grant, saw her differently. To him, she was just an old widow who couldn't keep up with rising rent. So he filed eviction papers, eager to replace her with tenants who could pay double. When the case finally reached court, Mrs. Ellen sat quietly at the defendant's table, clutching her husband's old watch for courage. The judge asked both sides to speak. That's when Mr. Grant leaned back in his chair, smirking. "Your Honor," he said loudly, "this woman is behind on rent. She's had enough handouts. She doesn't belong in that apartment anymore." And then he laughed. Laughed as if tossing a widow out of her home was a joke. Gasps filled the courtroom. Ellen lowered her eyes, humiliated, her hands trembling. But what Mr. Grant didn't know was that Ellen's husband had been a decorated veteran, and that the apartment wasn't just any unit. It was part of a program protected by law, designed to safeguard widows of servicemen. When Ellen finally spoke, her voice shook, but her words carried weight. "My husband fought for this country, Your Honor. He paid for that home with his service, and I've paid every cent I legally owe. All I want is to keep the place where his memory still lives." The courtroom fell silent. Even the judge leaned forward, his expression changing from neutral to stern. Then came the ruling. The judge turned to Mr. Grant, his voice sharp. "Not only is this eviction denied, but you, sir, will be fined for harassment and for violating housing protections. You will also pay her legal fees. Do you understand?" The smirk vanished from Mr. Grant's face. His hands shook as he stammered, Your Honor, I didn't know." The judge cut him off coldly. "You laughed at a widow today. I assure you no one's laughing now." The gavel struck. Ellen closed her eyes, tears rolling down, but this time they were tears of relief. Neighbors and even strangers in the courtroom approached her, offering kind words and hugs. And Mr. Grant, he left with his head down, his laughter replaced by trembling shame. So the next time someone mocks the vulnerable, remember, justice has its own way of answering cruelty. And if you felt the power of this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because stories like this deserve to be heard.